Hello everyone. Today we are going to do where Hidden Squidz was right, wrong, / community upgrade to the tier list. I am going to stand behind the one I made, however, there were some strong feelings and also good recommendations that should have replaced some of my skills, so I'll let you know which ones I agree with, I probably aimed wrong on, and which ones that probably should have been added to this list. So, first Hidden Squidz was right. Toxin Trickery, I didn't see anyone trying to really fight for that, so I'm not going to spend much more time on that. I think people mostly agreed. Hidden Squidz was wrong. We're just going to do a double whammy here. Pretty much both skills with the Antiquarian, and I made an error on my end. I looked back through my notes and I saw what I did wrong. I was comparing this to other DOT-based abilities, and obviously the Antiquarian was going to be slightly worse because she's not really meant to do damage or have strong damaging-based abilities. That's on me. I'm taking onus on that. And same with Fortifying Vapours. Once again, not supposed to be a grand healer or necessarily even the best useful heal. So we are going to be nixing both. But because we're nixing both, does not mean the Antiquarian gets away without having at least one skill get on there. We are going to replace Festering Vapours with Get Down on the Antiquarian. It's plus 25 dodge, 5 speed, which all sounds great and stuff, but then it's a generic 15% blight skill chance. It moves you back to, for the most part, this is just to pretty much unshuffle your party. The only other really great use I could see this being used, and it's a very, very cheese-based strategy, it's just a pure dodge-based strategy where you get like an Antiquarian up to 100. But other than that, I don't really see much use for it. Like I said, I'm sure there's Antiquarian cheeses out there where you get to like 110 dodge and no one can hit you. But for the most part, most of us probably never put this on outside of those dodge cheese and baits strategies. Fortifying Vapours is getting replaced with Arbalest Mark. Now, I was considering most marks as not bad, right? Marks allow people to function and do better and also reduce either protection or dodge. Marks are generally good. So why is it bad on the Arbalest? Well, the Arbalest really wants to be functioning off of marks. So an Arbalest marking and then taking advantage of that mark with their slower speeds doesn't really allow them to actually do a lot of damage and be the best they can be. So I really like the idea of the Arbalest Mark, and we're going to put the Arbalest Mark up there. So both of the Antiquarian abilities, I will admit, I messed up. I probably shouldn't have had them on there. I still don't think they're particularly strong, but as the top 10 worst, I can understand why not. Hidden Squidz was right. For the most part, once again, most people didn't argue too terribly hard about Blind Fire. There's a couple of people who said they do keep it on. I think it's one of those weird things where the Arbalest / Musketeer doesn't have a strong set in general. So in a weird way, you eventually come to Blind Fire. I know some people really hated Suppressing Fire. Honestly, I think they're both kind of equally bad, and to be honest, I've had more success with Suppressing Fire. Because eventually you can like kind of dumpster the back row in terms of accuracy while you focus the front. Maybe it's up in the air, I don't know. I really don't like the fact that I don't necessarily know I'm getting out of Blind Fire, like where it's going and the lack of damage. It's obviously more damage than Suppressing Fire, but I don't know, the 5 speed and the random targeting was too much for me. So, I think for the most part people agreed. Hidden Squidz was wrong. Tracking Shot. Tracking Shot, apparently I am a weird person and I do not like the ability, but a lot of people did. So once again, that's all on me. This is why this is the community list right here. I mean, I understand it. I just personally do not like it. What I did see in here though, which I will talk about later, is Grapeshot Blast. So like I said, I think I'm always in the minority of which skills I like, which is fine. It adds a different perspective. But sometimes I think I'm part of the normal, and as I'm doing things in Darkest Dungeon, I realize I'm in a subsection of not so normal, which is okay. But people really like Tracking Shot, so we're gonna remove it from the list. Now, if we were doing DLC, what I would replace Tracking Shot with is Suffer from the Flage. For the most part, you can clear a mark target, transfer Bleed, transfer Polite, and you yourself take a mark, minus 40% stress and 10% death blow resistance. It's pretty much just a DOT sponge soaking. It's so situational. For the most part, I really don't. I don't know. I never have it on myself, and it sounded like a lot of other people didn't. Now, if I wasn't doing DLC, because it was popular in the community, we're going to stay with the Highwayman, actually, and we're going to go Grapeshot Blast. I can understand the critique of Grapeshot Blast. I really do. It's 95 accuracy base, not that great. Damage mitigation at 50%, pretty hard. and a crit modifier of -5%. Now, the only reason why I think this skill has any redeemable qualities, if that's where the skill ended and it hit targets 1 through 3, I absolutely agree this skill would have been way up here before tracking shot. The only reason why I give it a ghost of a chance to maybe hover in the top 20-25 is the fact that the debuff target is crits received plus 8%. That means if you smash someone with this twice, you get plus 16% crit to those first 3 people. You can get up to 40-50% crits pretty quickly, and what that really does is allow for good stress heal and damage. Grapeshot Blast, even though with a -50%, can actually output some okay damage. It's nothing like Riposte, but if you like a ranged highwayman, I really do think Grapeshot Blast is almost unnecessary. Where Hidden Squidz was right, Caltrops. I had some people, and I'll argue I was like maybe 60-70% right on this one. I had some people really fight for Caltrops, and once again, I understand that. I think it has its moments in certain playstyle. I just think with everything else that the bounty hunter can do, in my personal opinion, it's just so much better than just a Caltrops. I really do. I can understand how maybe on some boss fights it can be good if you're not doing Mark, or some enemies you decrease their speed. But overall, I think in the Bounty Hunter's kit, it is probably the weakest, and the only reason why I'm saying the Mark's not the weakest is because if you want to do a Mark on the 3rd position and not worry about pulling them to the 1st, you can still do that, and it gives you a +5 speed, which means you can probably function off that Mark next turn, or at least increase your Bounty Hunter's chance to go first the following round. I think that's a lot better than just doing that on generically one enemy. Now once again, that's what I'm saying, 50% right. I can understand the arguments for it, but I still think for the most part more people agreed than not, but I can see the uses. And finally, where I was wrong, Battle Heal. I'm personally not a fan of Battle Heal. I do understand what some people are saying. It gives more HP than Inspiring Cry, so you can survive that DOT tick sometimes. I just personally didn't think it's that good, but once again, this is community based, not mine, so we are nixing Battle Heal off the top 10, and we are replacing it with Zealous Accusation. I saw it mentioned a couple of times. I don't want to say unfairly, but I do understand the complaint to it. It's minus 40% damage and 105 accuracy. I don't think the accuracy is so dumpster fire that it deserves to be up here, but I do understand that it's minus 40% damage. It's pretty heavy. If maybe minus 25%, I could see why. But hey, once again, community list, I can't understand. It's the most vanilla skill. It doesn't get any extra damage against Unholy. A stun is probably better, or maybe a heal and all that stuff, so I can understand where the Zealous Accusation does make this list. I hope with a couple of these updates that we can at least reach about halfway, if not maybe 2/3 of agreements in this list. There's probably still a couple of skills on here, such as Solo and Purge, that you have issue with, but hopefully we're at least 5 to 6 skills agreed now, and we can all have a happy place. Thank you so much for watching. My next video is going to be talking about Bellow, whether it's a good ability or not, and then I'll have one video just kind of about what to expect the next week while I'm out. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe below.